Good evening and welcome to a brand new season of the Formula Racing League. Round 1 takes us to the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo Edino Ferrari, that is Imola. Round 1 of 13 takes us here. This is the Tier 1 category. Tom Cairnes in the commentary box giving you the details for tonight's event. So a rundown on who is where once we do see some cars go out onto the racetrack. This is the 4th season of the Formula Racing League in the tiers category, and you can see it has started to rain. It's expected to dry out possibly before Q1 ends, but whilst we're waiting for cars to make their way out onto the racetrack, let's have a rundown on who is driving where. So, at Mercedes, we've got Mikey, otherwise known as SpongeBob, on the graphic. He is alongside Wild Dog. At Red Bull, you've got Mia Leos and Statistic King. McLaren have Winfield and Warrior Huntsman. Aston Martin have Dan Murphy and Carlos Killer on their payroll. Alpine have Becco and Terrades with Big Boss Bells and William Gaiman at Ferrari. Romans Republic and Scenario team up at Alpha Tauri. Alfa Romeo have Pimis and Liverpool Fan. Haas have JB Bowie and The Warrior. And finally at Williams, they have Don Argent and Jack DNF. Well, I was going to say, normally we would see Don Argent out on the race, but let's say that Dixon is there instead of him. That could be a change, actually, in terms of the driver lineup. So Dixon is there for tonight and for the foreseeable future. So as he makes his way towards Acre Minerali. If you have just joined us, do make sure you like and subscribe. And I think Dan Murphy, unsurprisingly, has opted out of qualifying, so he'll be one of the 5 drivers to be eliminated at the end of Q1. If you have joined us, by the way, it's a pleasure to have you here. We should expect to be a closely fought championship this time around. Smalley won the championship very convincingly with Romans Republic in 2nd place in the championship, I believe. He'll be hoping to go one better here, but it's going to be very, very tough. Now, Imola is a new track for the tiers in the Formula Racing League. They've done it before on Super Sunday and the 100% Racing Championship. But this time around in the tiers category, it's a new thing for the drivers. They are going to be on intermediates, which they are all on. Some are out on the circuit at the moment, including Dixon, who is the first driver to cross over the line to start a fast lap. So we'll look to see how he gets on. And through, coming towards the Variante Alta corner. And coming down towards the double left-hander of Ravazza. So Dixon crossing over the line, I suppose the first time of the new season, a 1 minute 23.7 is what it's managed to achieve. If the rain does ease, we will expect lap times to improve. Jack coming over the line, supposed to 1:23.4, which is more than 1.5 seconds off the pace. William Gaiman in the Ferrari, 1 minute 24.4 for him, which is not too bad. Scenario next behind in the Alpha Tauri. He'll be hoping for a good season as well, 1 minute 25.3. And that is Jack going off track there. He's had a spin. Probably make his way back into the pits after that. Pimis is the next driver to cross over the line, but he's only just going through Variante Alta now. So what can we expect from him this season? Well, last season, Pimis ended up finishing 8th overall with 104 points. The top 15 finishers score points in the Formula Racing League, 40 points for the race winner, right the way down to the 15th place finisher with 1. There's also a point on offer for the driver who qualifies on pole position, and a point for the driver who sets the fastest lap, providing they finish in the top 10. As you can see, Pimis clipping the curb at Tamburello and going for a little bit of off-roading. So that's him not improving on this time around. Winfield has just started a flying lap. Statistic King's coming into Rivatsa, with the rain continuing to come down. And William Gaming going fastest on a 1:23.6, so it's a good lap time there for him, a tenth faster than what Dixon had posted. There is Carlos Killer in the Aston Martin, as he aims for a top good spot this time around. It looks as though the rain has virtually stopped. Carlos Killer just getting a little bit of wheel spin as he touches the curb on the outside of Variante Alta. So he comes into and 19. This is the King before the line. It's a 1:26.5. It's the slowest of all the times so far. There is Warrior Huntsman. Now, Warrior Huntsman last season, as Dixon goes fastest again with a 1:22.9, so he's managed to find a lot more time than he did so on the last effort. Now, Warrior Huntsman was in Tier 2 last season, 7th overall with 125 points. Well, he's not going to be setting a fast lap here with that spin coming out of the Variante Alta. Statistic King, 6th position at the moment, 125.2 for him. And now with the track seemingly beginning to dry out at the moment, we will expect to see drivers coming in to put slicks on before Q1 ends. I think Warrior Huntsman has exceeded shot limits on the exit of Rivatsa, which means the next lap time will be invalidated as well. Should have thought about that, really. Barones Republic, aiming for a good season. Can he pick up a victory this time around? He didn't do so last season, but with the pace he's shown, if he keeps up with the consistency, then he could well find himself within the reckoning of going for a race win as he backs up on this lap. I think he knows that the track is in good enough condition for the drivers to think about going on to a set of the slicks. Well, Therese is the first driver to head out on track on the slicks now. And he's about to start a lap here, so we'll go on board with him. And he can take us on a tour of this Imola racetrack. So, on this long pit straight, you want to think about when to brake for this Tamburello complex, a chicane that was put in 1995 following the infamous events of what happened the year before involving Ayrton Senna. And you got the Villeneuve chicane, which was also remodified at the same time after what happened to Roland Ratzenberger. Then you come into the toast. I think overdid it slightly, although there was a glitch involved. But he carries on his way, and now he's going through the Piratella left-hander, and then into Acqua Minerale. And then you brake for the Variante Alta chicane. Wasn't too bad through that. Therese has got 2 left-handers to get through, which is Rivatsa. Well, 2 left-handers, and then the little kink, a little right kink before the line to finish off the lap of Imola. And this will be the fastest time of the session, no doubt. which is a 1 minute 17.4. So I'm not sure if that's going to be enough to see to race through. There is over 8 minutes remaining, so there's plenty of time for the drivers to get back out there and improve their lap times. Well, I don't think Becco's going to improve here with him on the intermediates. The track is definitely too dry for that now. He'll want to be on the slicks. Well, there's Wild Dog, promoted up to Tier 1, won the Tier 3 championship, or the Tier 3 category last season convincingly. And he's exceeded track limits before the lap has even begun, so that's his lap ruined, unfortunately. So Romans Republic is also out on slick tyres. Who else is out on track at the moment on slicks? Well, we know Wild Dog is. Romans Republic is as well. Pimis and William Gaiman have gone out on slicks. Now, the drivers in the bottom 5, they are at the moment Romans Republic, the Warrior, Wild Dog, Big Boss Bells and Bowie. But they've not gone out on, well, they've not set a lap time at all, actually, so that's something to bear in mind. You can see the sun is beginning to come out now onto the racetrack as Romans Republic starts a flying lap. Now hopefully we'll see him take through Tamburello a little bit more aggressively than what Teray did last time. Very nicely done through there, very smooth. So the first sector is just before Tosa, where it ends, which is where Romans Republic has gone through. Now coming up towards Piratella. There is a driver going through Akram and Raleigh, which I believe is one of the Alpines, but Romans Republic is far away from that, so it should be okay from here on in. Into Variante Alta, very nice through there, very, very nice. On the power, nice and early. Straighten the car up. And then you want to position yourself nicely for the left-handers of Ravazza, and then the right king before the line, which will take you to a lap time of 1 minute 15.1. So he goes fastest by a long, long way. Now that should be enough to see Romans Republic through into Q2. We are expecting the pole position time to be in the high 1 minute 14s in this qualifying session come Q3. So here's Wild Dog on another. He's on another lap in the Mercedes, but he needs to make sure he keeps his car within the track limits as he goes over the line. It's 1:17.6, so that's good enough to put Wild Dog up into 4th place. Who else is on the lap? Well, Mielios has just started one. And Bowie's next to come over the line in the Haas. And this is going to be good enough to see him post a 1:17.0. So he goes in front of Terades and Wild Dog. We should expect Bowie to sort of be a contender for Q3 later on. Who else is on a flying lap? Carlos Queiroz is on a flying lap. And Romans Republic goes quickest. He's now the first driver into the 1 minute 14, so a nice lap there from Romans. As Melios looks to improve on his lap. Wild Dog going much quicker than before through Sector 2. He's got Scenario in front of him though. Scenario, who's on an out lap, needs to stay out of the way here if he can, as Wild Dog is coming up behind him. Well, they've got a better exit coming out of Ravazza than last time. Rear wing open, and it's a 1:16.9, and he goes 4th with that. And Mielos has gone, I think he's exceeded track limits actually, so he'll have to go again in the Red Bull. Winfield is also on slicks. Becco is as well. Can't see what the time limit says, and William Gaming has retired in the pits, I believe. So he's not retired on circuits, he's retired in the pits. So we should expect him through to Q2, no problem. Carlos Killer posting a 125.0. That's not good enough to see him move up the order that much, so he needs to go for an improvement. Scenario, I think, is going over the line now, is he? No, it's the other AlphaTauri of Roman's Republic who's just gone into the pits. Here is Becco over the line. It's a 1:16.8. Good enough for fifth fastest for now. Who else is on fast laps? There's plenty of them. Winfield is one of them. Goes up to fourth with a 1:15.7. So Winfield aiming for a Q2 appearance on debut in the Tier 1 category. Now Winfield last season in Tier 2. He's the reigning Tier 2 champion. He won it by 1 point, albeit retrospectively after the events of the last round of the season in Portugal. Here is Scenario over the line in the AlphaTauri. It's not a very quick one, to be honest with you. Only a 1:19.8. So he needs to go again. Dixon's exceeded chart limits. So next time around is going to be his last chance. So we could see a shock Q1 exit for Dixon in the Williams. Now Carlos Killer is on a much better lap here in the Aston Martin, but the question is, how quick is it? Ooh, I don't think it's going to be that quick, to be honest with you. It's a 1:16.9, so just inside the 1:16s actually for Carlos Killer. As a lot of these drivers are against the clock at the moment, including Liverpool fan and Mikey, who's just gone through the Variante Alta chicane now, as is Big Balls Bowles. So 6 drivers have yet to post times, including Dan Murphy, who won't be setting a time, as he normally doesn't choose to take part in qualifying. He'd rather just focus on the race itself. Winfield has improved to second on a 1:15.5. Big Boss Bells in the Ferrari. You can see the Williams of Warrior Huntsman about to start what could be his last attempt here. So Big Boss Bells over the line, and he'll be safely through to Q2, no problem. He goes up to 4th with that effort. So Melios in the Red Bull should go up there. And it's a 1:15.4, good enough for P2. So that pushes Statistic King into the drop zone, who's on his outlap right now, just giving himself some space to prepare for his final runs. He's got to make this count, actually, Statistic King, because if he exceeds track limits or makes a mistake, that could well be qualifying over for him for the Tier 2 runner-up. Warrior Huntsman looking to get out of the bottom 5 here. The Warrior isn't out on track. He is not coming out, so that's him going out with Dan Murphy as Warrior Huntsman runs wide there through the Acqua Minerale section. He's gone off wide. He's gone wide, look. There's allowing Winfield to go by, but is he going to have enough time to get round and get to the line in time? I don't think he is. I think he's bailing out of it. So Warrior Huntsman has exceeded shot limits with that, and he's out of qualifying. Jack is not going to get over the line in time. He's left it too late. So it's down to Statistic King and Dixon, and also Carlos Killer, who are all on flying laps. Now Dixon will get over the line first. Warrior Huntsman decides to stay out of the way. I don't understand why he decided to stay out of the way, to be honest with you, when he should have been getting on with what could have been another flying lap, but he's out of qualifying now. Dixon over the line in the Williams, and it's 3rd fastest for him, so he's safely through. Statistic King then in the Red Bull. He's going to be one of the last drivers over the line here. Statistic King in 16th position at the moment, moves up to 13th place with 1:16.7. Now Carlos Killer has exceeded track limits. That's his qualifying session over then. With that, he crashes into the barrier, breaks his front wing, and that'll be him off into the pit lane now for sure. Don't understand why he needed to do that, to be honest with you. Liverpool fan has exceeded shot limits on his final flying lap, but he's safely through, as is Mikey, who I believe is continuing to finish his flying lap. We'll see how he gets on here. Nice turning point into Rivatsu, actually, for him. So Mikey, who is currently 5th on the 1:15.5, improves to a 1:15.3, and he goes 2nd. So that's a good effort from Mikey. He goes through to Q2. Unlike Carlos Killer, Jack, Warrior Huntsman, Murphy, and Warrior. So Jack will be very, very disappointed for leaving it too late there. He definitely left it too late. I think he was trying to find trap position whilst he was on circuit. The timing of being out on track just didn't pay off for him, unfortunately. So at the end of that Q1 session, Rome's Republic was fastest, but Carlos Killer out of qualifying, along with Jack, Warrior Huntsman, Murphy, and Warrior. We'll be back for Q2 in a few moments' time. Here we go then for Q2. I've just seen one of the Williams going out there. That'll be Dixon. He's not hanging around, is he? He wants to get out there and get a fast lap in. So we've got Scenario out on circuit as well. We've got one of the Alfa Romeos. That'll be Pimis. Wild Dog in the Mercedes. William Gaming in the Ferrari. So plenty of drivers heading out already. A total of 8 out of the 15. I'll make that 9 because we've got Rome's Republic also heading out on track. I think I was just waiting for some clear space for him to go out, along with the McLaren of, looks like Winfield. Don't know if any of the others are making a move just yet, or they're waiting for a gap in the traffic. Well, Dixon's coming round to start a flying lap now. Dixon over the line to start a flying lap now. He's on the soft compound, so if he sets his best time here, he will start the race on that compound, unless he gets knocked out in Q2 or if the start of the race is wet. It's a 24-4 for Dixon. And Dixon coming into the Variante Alta. Exiting the Variante Alta. And he's now coming towards Rivazza, where we expect him hopefully keep the car within the track limits here. Missed the apex slightly, I think, through Rivazza, but that's okay. Puts the car nicely for the last turn. It's a 1:15.6 for Dixon. And so he goes to the top. What about Pimis? How is he getting on here? 1:16.2 on the mediums. Wild Dog second on the soft compound, 1:16.1. There's William Gaming as one of the Alpines, I think, is going over the line. That's Teresa, 1:16.8 on the medium compound. William Gaming not on a fast lap, to be honest with you, so he stays where he is. Beko goes second temporarily, but Mielios has gone fastest on the medium compound with 1:15.5. So it's a very good sign from Mielios, in fact. Just looking to see who else is on a fast lap. Romans Republic is coming into Rivatsa now. And then we should see him over the line. And it's going to be a 1:16.1. It puts him fourth. Winfield is next over the line in the McLaren. 1:16.2 for him. So he goes in front of Pimis, Terades and William Gaming through all that. William Gaming's exceeded shut limits on his latest run, so he's not improving. Terades is not improving at the moment. And Dixon, I think, is going to go for another lap on the soft compounds. So 6 drivers have yet to post a time in the session. I just wonder if those on the mediums may decide to go for another run. We'll wait and see. Let's see how Dixon is getting on through Sector 1 here. Two tenths down from before. Now there's comes back to the pits. Romans Republic heading back to the pits as well. Mikey and Statistic King are out on circuit. They are both on the mediums. So they want to be aiming for a 1:15 with the laps which they are about to be producing. So Winfield makes his way back in. I think Romans Republic may go for another effort. Use the cool down lap to burn off some more fuel and recharge the battery. Dixon back in the pits as well, so we'll stay with Romans Republic for now. Half a tenth up from before through Sector 1. Only 3 cars on circuit. We'll make that 4 because I believe Big Boss Bells is coming back out onto the racetrack now, as is Scenario. But Romans Republic coming into Sector 2. He's still nearly a tenth up from before, so he's still on course for an improvement. Can he get into the 1:15s though? Keeps the car within the limits of the racetrack. And so Romans crosses over the line. And it's a 1:15.7. That's a much better lap time. He found 3 tenths in the last sector alone, did Romans Republic. And he goes up to P3. That's a very, very good effort. That could see him into Q3 with that, but that's not certain. Statistic King isn't going faster than Romans Republic, so I would expect him to be on a 1:16 with this effort. And the man from Glasgow in Scotland do well here. Well, it's only a 1:16.8 for him this time around. I think he's going to probably use this up to call to recharge the battery. Mikey's gone 6th on a 1:16.2. He's done better than Statistic King. There's definitely more time on the table to be found for him. I think Statistic King's carrying on with this lap he's putting here, but he's way down from before, so I think he may as well use the lap to recharge the battery. William Gaming on a fast lap, as is Scenario. And William Gaming going much faster than he did so last time around. Sector 1 was where he lost a lot of time. This is going to be a more representative effort as Statistic King stays out of the way. William Gaming just catching a little bit too much curb on the entry. Through Variante Alta, no problem. There is a Mercedes coming into Rivatsa now, that should stay out of the way. Marine Gaming coming over the line. It's a 1:16.0, good enough for P6. So better than Wild Dog, and definitely better than Statistic King. Big Boss Bells has made a mistake on his flying lap on the soft compound, so I don't know if he'll decide to just duck back into the pits and get another set of tyres on, or just recharge the battery and go again. Two seconds down from before, so you may as well just back out of it, to be honest with you. And Becco trying to improve on the mediums. He set his best time on the soft, so I don't see him going to improve on this effort. But he's going to go for another effort now. Perhaps if he backed off in the final sector of the lap he was producing on the soft compound, he may have had a chance of getting through to Q3 on the mediums, but no going back from that. He's a quarter of a second down from what he posted on the soft, so he needs to find a lot of time in the remainder of this lap. 5 minutes to go in Q2. The bottom five currently are Terrades, Big Boss Bells, Liverpool Fan, Scenario, and Bowie. Now Becco coming into sector 2. And he's 4/10 down from before, so it's going quicker than they did so on the last lap, but not on the lap he did on the softs. And the reason why he's doing this is because he'd go on a longer first stint at the beginning of the Grand Prix before he comes in for presumably the soft compound for the final stint. He's coming back into the pits anyway. Big Boss Bells has gone up to P3 on the soft compound, so that should see him through. I would probably say the top four are safe from elimination, realistically, but those downwards will be looking over their shoulders. As Bowie goes past Winfield, who's Bowie on the soft compounds, caught the sausage curve through turns 1 and 2. And Dixon retiring from the session. He feels he's done enough. So 1:16.2 is the very minimum that Jack needs to find to give himself a chance of progressing into the final part of qualifying. Through Acre Minerale. 50.7. Coming into Ravazza. Jack just wants to get a clean lap in here. I don't think he's not going to have time to get another run in, I don't think, if he was to come back into the pits. He's gone 11th on a 1:16.3, so he needs to find an improvement somewhere. Don't know if he'll just choose to back off on this lap and recharge the battery. I think that's what he's doing, so not able to get into the top 10 at the moment is Jack. Liverpool Fan aiming for a Q3 appearance. Hasn't posted a lap in Q2 yet. So he's coming over the line now, is Liverpool Fan. And it will be a 1:15.9, which puts him up to P6. That pushes Winfield into the drop zone. He's out on circuit at the moment, though. Wild Dog is on an improvement, but he's exceeded track limits at Ravazza. And because he's exceeded track limits there, that'll spoil the next lap he's about to start. So Wild Dog on the brink at the moment of being knocked out. Scenario started a flying lap. We'll go to Winfield next, as he's in the drop zone in 11th. How's he getting on through sector 2? Nearly half a second up from before. So he's potentially going to go up into the top 4, I would say, with this one. And And Pimis goes fast as 1:15.4. So he's obviously not certain of getting through on the mediums. Well, Winfield's inherited top spot with a 1:15.3. So good luck from him. Scenario looking to improve. Jack Bowie looking to start another time lap before the checker flag falls. 1 minute to go then in this Q2 session. A Scenario in the bottom 5 with no time on the board at the moment. A 1 minute 15 ideally is what he needs, but he's nowhere near that. It's a 1:16.7, and he's still in the bottom 5. William Gaiman goes fast as a 1:14.8 on the soft compound. And Statistic King and Terades are on fastest laps, or on fast laps, I should say. Terades on the soft compound needs a very strong lap here to continue his progress through qualifying. Here goes up to 7 with that lap. Very good time from him. That pushes Becco into the drop zone, who is in the pit. So Becco is out of qualifying. Statistic King over the line. Only 13th. So unless he can find a heap of time on the next lap is about to do, he'll be on the sidelines for Q3. Jack Berry looking to improve from 14th. Is he improving? He is, but only by a 1/10 and a half. He needs a 1 minute 15 in order to get through. And at the moment, it doesn't look like he's about to achieve it. Scenario is also on a fast lap. So Berry on the cusp at the moment of being knocked out. Exiting Ravazza, but he's exceeded chart limits, so Berry's out of qualifying, unfortunately. We'll go to Scenario next, who aims to improve from 15th position. And he's out of the bottom 5, he goes 10th. So that pushes Mikey out of qualifying. So Mikey's complacency of attempting to get through on the mediums has not paid off. Wild Dog has backed off on his lap. Statistic King is on a flying lap, but I think he's out of ERS battery. We'll see how he gets on, though, in the remainder of this lap. Exiting Ravazza now. Very nice exit, in fact. So this could give Statistic King a good opportunity to get out of the bottom 5. And he's done it! Statistic King gets through by just under 0.03 of a second. And that pushes Scenario out of qualifying. So it didn't look like Statistic King was going to do it there, but he managed to do it with that last time effort. Running out of fuel, running out of ERS battery, but he's gone through by the skin of his teeth. So the 5 drivers we lose at the end of Q2, they are Scenario, who's done well to get up to 11, it has to be said. Mikey in a disappointing 12th place. He'll be gutted with that. And the others who join him on the sidelines are Wild Dog, Bowie, and Becco. So there we go. William fastest. Now the only drivers getting through on the mediums are Mielios, Big Boss Bells, and Romans Republic. But the 5 drivers we lose at the end of qualifying from top to bottom are Scenario, Mikey, Becco, Wild Dog, and Bowie. That was Q2. Q3 is coming up next. He will be on pole position. So 12 more minutes of qualifying to determine the grid. Which of these 10 drivers will be on pole by the end of it? If you were to ask me who's realistically in the run-in for pole position, I'd be tempted to say William Gaiman, Dixon, and Romans Republic in there. Possibly Winfield and Big Boss Bells. But we'll have to wait and see. So Dixon on track. I think he's mentioned he possibly could be on mediums. It could be a glitch within the game itself, so you may want to inform me that after qualifying is done. It's been a good qualifying session so far here at Imola. the venue that's hosted a Formula One World Championship event 29 times, and it'll be doing so presumably for the next 4 years. So Imola will become a permanent venue on the F1 calendar from 2022, which is fantastic news to hear. Venue for the Italian Grand Prix in 1980. Venue for the San Marino Grand Prix from 1981 to 2006. And of course the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix from 2020 up to the present day. It's such a relief to me personally that Formula 1 has gone back to Imola. It would have been a terrible shame if it didn't come back, but now it is, which is absolutely thrilling to see. It's one of my favourite circuits as well. Dixon begins the fast lap then. Now, the fastest lap time he did in Q2, I just want to have a look at that, just for reference. He did his fastest lap time in Q2 was a 1:15.5, and in Q1, considering the changeable conditions towards the end of that session, well, he's coming into the second sector now, is Dixon. 49.7, that's probably the best time I've seen anyone do by that stage of the lap. Well, Dixon's best lap time in Q1 was a 1:15.5. I think that's me getting my numbers wrong slightly. At the end of Q2, he did a 1:15.6, and he's coming out, I think, saying he did that on the mediums, or he might have done it on the softs. So that's for him to fill me in. But he's gone and set a 1:14.5. That's a brilliant lap time from Dixon. So what can we expect from those behind? Well, Romans Republic has set a 49.9 through Sector 2, which is not as quick as Dixon's, but it's a 1:14.9 for him, and he goes P2 with that one. William Game has exceeded track limits on his flying lap at the moment. Statisticking over the line on the mediums, 1 minute 16.9. And then we've got Big Balls Bells in the Ferrari coming through. Can he be another one getting into the 1 minute 14s maybe? No, he's ducking into the pits actually, so Mielio's 1:15.2, third fastest for him. Winfield's just started the flying lap, as has William. 24.5 for him through Sector 1. He's got a great chance of going for pole position here, given his pace already throughout this session. You can see how smooth he's taking his lines as well. It's only a 50.1 though by this stage of the lap through Sector 2, so he's going to find it tough to regain that lap time, but never say never. There is still another run to come from this particular field. And so Will decides to duck into the pits. He wasn't improving on that lap time, or he wasn't going to post a good one anyway. So Pimis going for glory here at Imola. Can he put himself in the frame maybe for a podium? Perhaps. Maybe not top 3 on the grid, but definitely in the running to maybe be in the top 5 for the race. And it's a 1:15.6 for him. The slowest of all those who have set a lap time on the soft compounds. Romans Republic coming into Sector 2. It's a 10th down from before. He's run out of the RS battery, or he's not using it, so I think Romans Republic will be coming back into the pit lane. Now, Terrades and Big Boss Bowels are out on circuit. And these two will be beginning their fast laps round about now. So Big Boss Bell's aiming for a good qualifying here. He only served as a reserve last season. He needs to be in the low 24s through sector 1. It's a 24-0. Very, very nice indeed. So Big Boss Bells through Acrominerale. And it's a 49.7. That's a good time by the stage of the lap. That could put him in the frame for pole here, actually. Coming out of Variante Alta. We'll go to Terrades shortly once Big Boss Bells is done with this lap. So he exits the last turn. He goes over the line. And it's a 1:14.8. He misses out on pole by 0.3. Terrades over the line, only good enough for 6th, 1:15.7 for him. Now, Big Boss Bells is on a flying, well, he's not on the flying lap yet. I think he's just slowing down to stay out of the way of other drivers. So, Romans Republic, third fastest at the moment. So, Terrades. This could well be his last run done. He has got enough time to get back to the pits and get another set of soft tyres run. A set of soft... sorry, my English is going out of the window. A set of soft tyres on and get round before the checker flag has fallen. Now, who else is on track? Liverpool fan is also on circuit. So Terrades coming round to start another lap then. Can he improve? Let's see how he gets on through sector 1. I think he's going to struggle, to be honest with you, considering that he'll have done a few laps on those softs now. So I doubt he's going to be going quicker than before. He's a 10th down from before through the first sector. If he's not improving by sector 2, we'll come away from him. And he's only 200 down from sector 2, so he is finding time. So Terrades in the Alpine, how will he get on in Tier 1 this season? And of course tonight here at Imola. This start time of his is an improvement and goes up to 50, improved by half a tenth. Terrades coming over the line now in the Alpha Tauri, and he goes onto the front row, misses out on pole by less than a tenth. So Dixon looking good for pole at the moment. He's on his out lap right now. Pimis has started a flying lap. Liverpool fan is next behind, who's going to complete a flying lap. Will be another one of those in the 1:15s. It will be 1:15.6. Goes in front of his teammate Pimis, who is on a very poor lap, it has to be said. He ran wide, I think, at the Villeneuve chicane, so they've lost time through there. He may decide to back out of this one. He's got enough time to get round before the checker flag has fallen. Statistic King also on the far side. William Gaming has just started his last lap now. So who's going to be the next to finish like? Well, Roman's Republic is going faster than before through sector 2. So, he's oversteered. He caught the curve at Variante Alta and he backs out of it. That is such a shame. That would have been Roman's Republic on pole had it not been for that error. Well, Big Boss Bells is coming round now to begin his last attempt. I think Roman's Republic is... is he going to duck into the pits or he's going to go for another lap? No, he's ducking into the pits. He's not got enough fuel left in there. And now Pimis is about to cross over the line. He improves and goes up to 5th place. So Pimis up there in the Alfa Romeo. Statisticking improving to 8th on a 1:16.0. Lin Gaming coming through sector 2 to 49.8 through there. What about Mielios? How's he getting on? He's finding a lot of time, in fact. So can he snatch pole position away here? He goes onto the front row and just misses out on pole by less than 300. So Mielios pushing his Red Bull to the absolute limit and pushing it onto the front row of the grid. William Gaming then for Ferrari. 1 minute 14.7, only good enough for 4th place. Decent effort from him though. Dixon's improving in the in the second sector. Is this going to be good enough to see him pushing his margin over the others further with this lap? He does improve by a 10th, and Dixon is fastest at the moment. Big Bud Bells is improving through sector 2. Winfield goes 6th on a 1:14.9. Statistic King's not on the lap, so Big Bud Bells is the last driver to cross over the line. Can he improve? Can he maybe get his Ferrari onto the front row? I don't think he can. Goes 4th with a 1:14.6. So after all that, it is Dixon who is on pole position for Williams, with Melios alongside him on the front row. Then it's Roman's Republic, Big Boss Bells, William Gaming and Winfield. I have to say, just over half a second separating the top 6. Pimis will start 7th in the Alfa Romeo ahead of Terades, Liverpool Fan and Statistic King. So there'll definitely be some smiles in the Williams garage after that. Well, one Williams may have been knocked out in qualifying, but that didn't stop Dixon from going on his charge of playing out all the stops. And we'll start the race on pole position. And with that, he gets a championship point as well. So it's the perfect start to the season for him. But there is still the race to come where it matters most. So we're just waiting for the classification to come up, and I'll run down on the Q3 results. So your top 7 for the race is that Dixon and Melios line up on the front row next to each other, with Dixon ahead. Roman's Republic and Big Balls Bells are on the second row, William Gaming and Winfield on row 3. Then it's Pimis and Terades in 7th and 8th, and Liverpool Fan and Statistic King rounding out the top 10. That's all for qualified. Now it's on to the 32-lap Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix at Imola. Who will win the first race of Tier 1 in the Formula Racing League? Do not go anywhere. So here we go then for the race. We're just waiting for the drivers to complete their last minute race setups in terms of strategy and how much fuel they'll start the race on. Some drivers may need to fuel save, but if we get a safety car at some stage, that could very much prevent the necessity of drivers saving fuel. It's a lovely racetrack, is Imola. It really, really is. And to my understanding, just looking to see when it was first built, as we are less than half a minute away from the formation lap. It was apparently 1953, which is when the original circuit was made, so it was long before a Grand Prix, a Formula 1 race, was held at this racetrack. And so the race, well, the formation lap is underway. We'll have a look to see who is starting and what. So Dixon was right all along. There was a glitch with the game itself. He started on the mediums. Melios, Romans Republic, Big Boss, Bells, Scenario, Mikey, Becco, Well Dog, Bowie, Warrior Huntsman. The Warrior are also on mediums. Dan Murphy's on hards. The rest are all on the soft compound. So we have a full grid. We'll run down on who is lined up where. So Dixon and Melios line up on the front row next to each other, with Dixon on pole. Romans Republic and Big Boss Bells are next on the second row. William Gaming and Winfield line up on row 3. Very good job from both of them, it has to be said. Pimis and Terades line up on the 4th row, with Liverpool Fan and Statistic King rounding out the top 10. Scenario and Mikey are on row 6, followed by Becco and Wild Dog. Then it's Bowie and Carlos Killer on the 8th row, with Jack and Warrior Huntsman on row 9. And at the back of the grid, we've got Dan Murphy and Warrior. So 20 cars rowing to go for this race. Can Dixon convert pole position into the win? He's got a good chance of doing that. If he gets a good start and pulls away, then I think it's going to be very difficult for anyone to catch him. There could be signs of rustiness as well from the drivers, and with anything can happen at Imola. We've not had a tier race in the Formula Racing League on this track yet until now, so this is one to look out for, I would reckon. Is Dixon going to come away as the victor here at Imola? We'll find out in around 45 minutes time. You can see the cars making their way back onto the grid. This start-finish straight was reprofiled back in 2008, shortly after the days of the San Marino Grand Prix had ended in 2006, and didn't remain on the calendar for Formula 1, unfortunately, until 2020, but it's good to be back here now anyway. So all the cars are in position then. We're ready to go for this race. Tier 1 in the Formula Racing League, Season 4, Round 1 at Imola. The 5 red lights appear in front of the drivers. It's lights out, and away we go. Dixon gets off to a very good start, but not as good as Melios is alongside him round the outside as they come through the kink before they come to the first braking zone of Tamburello. Dixon in front then of the Red Bull of Melios. Rose Republic going side by side with Big Boss as he gets a great start. Rose Republic ran out wide there, and he's going to lose positions to the other Ferrari of William Gaming and the McLaren of Winfield. So Romans Republic has dropped back from his starter position. Dixon remains in front, ahead of Melios. It's the 2 Ferraris of Big Boss Bells and William Gaming. Winfield in 5th place for McLaren. It's Rose Republic, Pimis, Statistic King just getting ahead of Terades. Liverpool Fan running out the top 10 so far. And I think apart from Romans Republic running wide at Tamburello, it seems as though the rest of the field have got through there unscathed. So very clean driving throughout the field. Dixon through Acromillarali. Oh, he's made a mistake coming out of there. That will allow Melios to close back in on him. But at least Dixon is still in the race lead for now. There's no DRS for the first 2 laps of this race. So it's just pure racing speed for now. And we're just looking at the back to see if there's anyone. There's an Alpine spinning round. It's Becco who's gone for a spin. So that'll be him falling to the back. I hope he hasn't sustained too much damage. Oh, he's got damage to the left side of his front wing, so that'll be him off into the pits at the end of this lap. So Dixon leads, exiting Ravazza and completing lap 1, with Melios in second place, William Gaming in third, ahead of Big Boss Vals, who's going side by side with him. But has to, well, he's got back ahead of him actually, William Gaming, so Big Boss Vals is down to fourth place, and then you've got Winfield right behind next, and then Rome's Republic ahead of Pimis, with Statistic King and Liverpool Fan in 8th and 9th. Mikey's up to 10th place now in the Mercedes, so he's gained up a couple of positions. Becco's in the pits for a need front wing and going onto the soft compound tyre, and I would think he's going to have to hope for a safety car later on in the race to salvage anything from it. So there is Dixon, nearly a whole second clear of Melios, with William Gaming and Big Boss Bells in third and fourth. Winfield and Roman's Republic are next in pursuit, with Pimis right behind as the drivers coming towards the Variante Alta chicane. Now the Warrior getting past Carlos Killer. There's the other Alpine going for a spin. That is Terrades. Oh, after qualifying in the top 8, he's fallen down the order, so he falls down to 19th position after that. So both Alpines at the back of the field now. There's William Gaming trying to pull alongside Melios here, and he's going to go through and up into P2, I think, here. By the time they get into Tamburello corner, DRS is now enabled. Willie going dive into the inside of Melios into Tamburello, and that's him into second place. Very nice move from him there. He gave Melios enough space, but it was nice and it was a nice robust manoeuvre. I think Winfield's off the track at turn 4 there, and that's a massive shame. He's lost it over the curbs, I would presume, and he's fallen down the order big time there. And yeah, that's him falling down the order, and he'll be needing a new front wing, I think, after that. So Winfield, who was running in 5th place, has fallen right down the order after that. So Dixon able to get out of DRS range, and Melio struggling coming out to Acromonaroli. Big Boss Bell's getting a kick of oversteer, riding over those curbs. The curbs are rather flat here at Imola, it has to be said, unless you're riding over the sausage curbs, those yellow-coloured curves that sit on top of the curbs which are there. And I think Dan Murphy's the next to go for a spin in the Aston Martin. It is. Now, is that his front wing gone? I think it is. So another driver in trouble. So Dixon out of DRS range, but Big Boss Bells is very much on Melios' tail to use the DRS. I think that's going to be another Ferrari through, and almost forced onto the grass there. Big Boss Bells a little bit rude that from Melios, but Big Boss Bells is through anyway and up into 3rd position. Oh, that's the Alfa Romeo off the track. That is Pimis off into the barrier. Front wing gone off there. That could have so easily been a retirement for him. He's managed to carry on, but that is him down the order from there. Winfield and Murphy into the pits for new nose cones. So we're on lap 4 of this race. Pimis has now been penalised for exceeding child limits. That's harsh, to be honest, because he is without a front wing, so he'll probably dispute that afterwards. Dixon is now only just a second clear of William Gaming, who's closing him down all the time. Now remember, William Gaming started the race on the soft compound. Dixon started on the mediums. Now Roman's Republic is in 5th place now, ahead of Statistic King, who's running well. Liverpool Fun likewise in the Alfa Romeo, going side by side with Statistic King. Thought about making a move at Ravazza, but it's not the best place to make an overtake. And Dan Murphy's off the track again at Tamburello. Big Boss Bells has posted a new fastest lap. That'll help him catch the car in front. With Melios using the DRS, can he distract him into Tamburello? The answer to that question is a resounding no. Now Warrior Huntsman is closing up behind Wild Dog, who's in 14th place. So Pimis back in the pits for Alfa Romeo. Now will he decide to carry on after that, considering that he's got that penalty hanging over him? And someone else has gone for a spin, or is that just a glitch? I think that may well be a glitch, actually. Now William Gaming's half a second behind Dixon. And the to raids now with a penalty for track limits. Jack DNF is also with a penalty for track limits earlier on. So it's 3 seconds for those two each. Now William Damon, can he use the DRS to his advantage? Well, he's using it now. And with a little bit of ERS to close in on the Williams. Does he go for it into Tamburello? He could do here. Right on Dixon's tail, goes to the outside. Dixon leaves him enough room just about and remains in front. Liverpool fan also in front of Statistic King here, as is Mikey. So Statistic King losing 2 positions in one go here. So the Mercedes through. Oh, that's it. Williams off the track. That's Jack. He avoids the barrier. He gets back out on track just behind Bowie and Wild Dog. He should go past. And that's Jack falling down to 14th position after that spin. So the curves very much catching a lot of the drivers out at the moment. Melio's now with a time penalty for track limits. Someone else has gone off track. Is that Jack again in the Williams at the Villeneuve chicane? It is. Winfield now with the fastest lap. Trying to claw back all of what he had lost at the beginning. There's a long way to go yet in this race. So Dixon doing very well so far. Rear wing open on Mieleos' car. Becco off the track, I think. No, it's Jack, who's had his 3rd spin of the lap, so he's really falling out of his depth at the moment with these spins. In his first race in Tier 1 in the Formula Racing League. And Mikey now with a penalty for track limits. So 5 drivers with penalties so far. Hopefully we won't get too many throughout this race. So Dixon, only 1.2 seconds clear of William Gaming. With Melios behind in 4th place. With Big Bill Spells ahead. And I expect Williams' tyres to start to fall away now by this point. Statistic King behind Scenario in the battle over 8th place. Now the Warrior fending off Carlos Killer in the battle over 10th. The Warrior doing very well from the back of the field, it has to be said. And Big Boss Bells fending off Melios into Tamburello. Oh, there's contact! And Big Boss Bells managing to stay ahead there. Now, did Melios' front wing get damaged in all that? Probably didn't. So all 20 drivers still running right now. Warrior with a penalty, Jack with another penalty now as well. We're at the quarter-way point of this race. Dixon in front. Looking very, very good at the moment. Carlos Keller with a penalty now in the Aston Martin. Melios behind Big Boss Bells as they come into Ravatsa. 6-2 is a yellow flag. That'll be Warrior Huntsman. Has gone for a spin at Aquaman Raleigh. Has continued. So Melios using the DRS once more. Can't get in front of Big Boss Bells on this occasion though, so he'll have to stay put for now. And looks like is that Jack who's gone for a spin. It's another spin for him, unfortunately. He's 4th of the race. And he's fallen down to 18th place after that. No, it won't be too long before those on the soft compound start to come in. I think Warrior Huntsman has picked up damage to his front wing, hence why he's in the pits now. I would expect him maybe to go onto the hard compound tyre, which he is on now. And William Gaiman now with a penalty for track limits, so he's the next one to fall foul of that. Jack is also in the pits. So out he goes, and he'll be a lap down on the leader now as Dixon posts a new fastest lap. So there is Dixon out in front. 4.6 seconds he's managed to extend the margin now. So Williams' tyres must surely be starting to really fall off the cliff. I suppose if he pitted in now, he would have track position. The undercut can be very effective here at Imola. There are a lot of slow corners on this circuit, especially coming out of Tosa and Acrominerali, the Variante Alta and Ravazza. Yeah, I think Will must surely be thinking about coming into the pits at the end of this lap. His teammate's within a second of him now, so he may want to just duck into the pits and let his teammate go. He's staying out there for now. And look like Jack is trying to unlap himself from Mielios here. And it looks like Will's let his teammate go, actually, so that's kind of wise of him to do that. But the only problem with that is he'll have lost time to Dixon ahead. So the Ferrari teamwork seems to be falling into place, even though it's the first race of the season. They just don't want to get in each other's way when they don't really need to. Looks like someone has gone off. It sounded like someone had gone into the barrier or something. Well, there's Warrior Huntsman has gone for another spin in the McLaren, unfortunately. He's gone down a lap now on the leader. Now Dixon in command of the race right now. As we watch Will stay in touch with Big Boss Bells. Now Will's not using too much of his ERS deployment at the moment. Doesn't really need to at this stage of the race. He may do so on the pit straight to make sure he stays in touch with Big Boss Bells, because he's going to have the DRS. The Wolfan into the pits for Alfa Romeo as we watch the Warrior and Carlos Killer going to combat with Statistic King. It's not the first time in this race that Statistic King has lost two positions at the same place at the same time. He's fallen down to 10th place as we saw Liverpool fan come into the pits for a change of tyres, and he'll rejoin in 14th place, well ahead of Winfield. So just two drivers lapped so far. They are Warrior Huntsman and Jack, as Becco comes into the pits for the second time. And he'll be the third driver to be lapped as Wild Dog picks up another penalty now. He's on 6 seconds worth. So Dixon goes past Becco. This is going to be Becco's worst nightmare, to be honest with you. Now, a lot of the field have still yet to pit in anyway. This is not what Becco needed for the first race of the new season. as well. He's very much losing ground. So you see, and that's Jack in the wall. That's Jack in the wall. So he's broken his front wing, and I think this is going to be the end of his race by the time he comes back to the pits. Terrades is in the pits for Alpine for his first stop of the race. So medium's going on for him. And he's out on his way. Can he get out in front of Winfield? I think he can. Oh, it's going to be touch and go, though, I think. I think Winfield is just going to get ahead of him, to be honest with you. And yes, he will. So Terrades rejoins behind Winfield in 15th. As we watch Pimmis and Murphy fight it out for 16th place. And it looks like Will has gone into the pits for Ferrari at the end of lap 13. So he should go onto the mediums. Now, where will he rejoin in terms of track position? He might get out in front of Liverpool Fan. Well, Liverpool Fan's just coming into Ravazza now, so Williams should rejoin ahead of him, and crucially with a clear track ahead. So the race leader, Dixon, continuing on his way. Jack is in the pits. He's still staying in the race for now, it has to be said, which is fair play to him. All 20 drivers are still running, which is very, very good to see. Murphy behind Pimmis with DRS. Is this going to be a change of position? I think it is, you know. Murphy goes through and up into 16th place. Someone's gone off in sector 1. Is that Terrades or is that Jack who's gone off there? It's Jack who's second lap in a row. He's spun off there into the barriers. And that just sums up his day, to be honest. Knocked out in Q1, timed his effort to get a lap in on the 6 incorrectly. And it's just got a whole lot worse for him here. And Statistic King also in the pits for Red Bull. It's likely he'll get out behind Terrades, I think. He's done his stop now. There's Carlos Killer. And now Pimmis is going to have the DRS behind Murphy. And there is Jack coming into the pits for Williams. And this is going to be the end of his race, I would think now. After that, yeah, he is the first retirement of the season. So whilst one Williams retires, the other continues to dominate out in front. Terrades with another time penalty for track limits. So all of the top 9 have yet to make a pit stop in this one, and the fact they all started on the mediums, they'll remain out there for a few more laps at the minimum before they do come in and put on the soft compounds. There is Big Boss Bells in second place. Is well clear of Melios at the moment, who's another 4 seconds adrift. So second place could well be on for Big Boss Bells today. Although having said that, his teammate will be setting some blistering times on the fresher set of mediums. As Terrades comes, not Terrades, Winfield comes in for another pit stop. Yeah, it's likely he'll go down a lap now on Dixon. There we go. Dixon puts a lap on the McLaren. It's not been a good day for McLaren, it has to be said. And there's Pimis in 16th. Mikey in 5th place behind Romans Republic. And someone's gone off in sector 2, that's Warrior Huntsman. I think he was just staying out of the way, but he's just staying out of the way of the leaders now. He should be getting back on track here, but Warrior Huntsman's race has just got a whole lot worse. So Dixon in front. Pimis gets another time penalty for track limits. Mikey getting past Romans Republic for 4th position. As well, Jack Bowie in 8th place. And William Gaiman continuing to put in some good laps so far. His personal best lap of the race has been a 1:17.9, which is similar to what Big Boss Bells has been set in. And someone's gone off at sector 1 there. I couldn't quite tell who that was. It may have been Warrior Huntsman in the McLaren. .1:18.6 for the Williams pilot as Winfield closes up behind. Romans Republic still in 5th position behind Mikey. Emilio's holding on to 3rd place. Very and Well Dog in 8th and 9th. William Gaiman continuing to close on them in 10th place as Murphy gets a penalty now for track limits. So there are a total of just 6 drivers left in this race who do not have a time penalty. They are Dixon, Big Boss Bells, Bowie, Liverpool Fan, Statistic King and Winfield. Becco with a time penalty for track limits. Sector 2, is that one of the Hasses? It's the Warrior who's gone off. Front wing broken for him. Oh, that's a terrible shame because he was running very well. I think it was in 6th place when he had the off there. Well, it may have been 7th, but either way, he's fallen down the order, and that'll be him off into the pits for a change of tyres. Well, William Gaiman behind Well Dog now. Now, this should be a very easy manoeuvre here for William. As Winfield now gets the time penalty for track limits. And Warrior Huntsman into the pits. This is going to be the end of his race, it is. So the second driver out of this one. As William closes up behind Well Dog. To the outside William goes, and that's him through. So no problem there. Next up is Bowie for the Ferrari driver. So the Warrior into the pit lane. And Dixon coming round. coming in for his only stop of the race. Now, this is a battle he's having with William Gaiman, who's only just coming into Akram Nirali now, so I doubt that he will get in front of Dixon here. Big Boss Bells is also in for Ferrari. Melios is likewise, so Mikey will have a stint at the front. Dixon will rejoin in second place. William Game is just coming out of Ravatsa now, so Dixon retains what is effectively the race lead, but I think Big Boss Bells is going to lose second place to William Gaming, most certainly. Well, there he is. He's coming out of the pits now. There's William Gaming at full speed. And he's just ahead of Big Boss Bells, so William Gaming able to undercut the Ferrari. But he's allowed his teammate back through. So Big Boss Bells back through, and I suppose with Big Boss Bells on the better tyres, he has the better chance of going after the race leader. So Mikey in front then. Murphy into the pits for Aston Martin for his second stop of the race. Mikey with his second or third penalty, I should say, of this race. 9 seconds he's on now, worth of penalty. Mikey into the pit lane. And Dixon will retake the lead. Raids now. No time penalty for track limits. Now, where could Mikey come out here? Now, he's not going to get out in front of Melios, I don't think. Or he might be able to. We can see Romans Republic behind Liverpool Fan here. These two go into battle. Romans Republic gets on the curve. There's Mikey coming out of the pits there. And Romans Republic gets through on him. Oh, that was very close, wasn't it? And Romans Republic able to get past the Mercedes. As you can see, Melios dive into the inside here as they come into the Villeneuve chicane. Don't often see overtakes here. Well, Melios is able to make it work. So, Liverpool Fan down to 7th place. There is Scenario in a fine 8th position. Collis Killer and Statistic King in 9th and 10th. Bowie and Well Dog are in 11th and 12th places now. Here's the Warrior in 14th position. Now Dixon coming up behind Becco, who is a lap down on him here. Technically still on the lead lap, but he won't be for long, given the pace of Dixon's setting. He's just posted a new fastest lap. 1 minute 16.0. Now Big Boss Bells is 12 seconds off the lead. I suppose with Williams' penalty, he may as well just let his teammate go through anyway, which is what he did say after he got ahead of him when Big Boss Bells came out of the pits. Now Mikey. Oh, he's just run a bit wide at the Villeneuve chicane. That allowed Melios to close back in on him. So Mikey, who started outside the top 10 at the beginning of this race, on course for a top 5 finish as it stands. But having said that, his penalty would drop him back a couple of positions, which wouldn't be good news for him. So Liverpool Fan on course for a good result for round 1 of the season. Dan Murphy able to get past Pimis for 16th place on track. Pimis in for the 2nd time in this race, or 3rd time maybe. It's behind Becco now in 18th place. And Dixon extending his margin as Mikey and Melios close up behind Romans Republic as they begin lap 24. Mikey with the DRS to the inside, and that's him through with ease. Now, what about Melios? Can he get past as well in the Red Bull? The answer to that question is no. So Mikey through into 4th place ahead of Romans Republic. The question is, can Mercedes pull away. Now, Marines Republic doesn't need to pass Mikey in order to finish ahead of him by the race results. He just needs to stay within 6 seconds of him as it stands. There is Scenario running in 8th place. He's got a penalty of 3 seconds, which wouldn't not affect his race finishing position. And Mikey running wide there on the exit and deservedly being given a time penalty for track limits there. And someone's gone off in sector 2. It's Carlos Killer in the Aston Martin. So not Dan Murphy, it's Carlos Killer this time. He's now down to what is 13th position. So Wild Dog goes up to 9th, Statistic King 10th, Bowie in 11th position. Now can Bowie get into the top 10 here? He's on better tyres than Statistic King. Can he use that to his advantage here? Rear wing open. This is battle of the admins as well, don't forget. Bowie through with ease, no surprise there, and he goes up into 10th place. And if he keeps it up, he may finish ahead of a few more drivers because of penalties. So Statistic King beginning to struggle at the moment. Seven laps remaining. Dixon maintaining the margin 12 seconds. He's got a penalty in this race now, but that won't affect his finishing position. Big Boss Bells with another penalty now. Well, it's his first penalty of the race for track limits. Someone's gone off in sector 3, but has continued. So only Liverpool fan Bowie and Statistic King have not been penalised in this race. There's Melios in 6th position behind Rome's Republic. Rome's Republic has now picked up his second penalty of the race for track limits. So as it stands, Melios will be gaining 2 positions from this. Liverpool fan is too far back to be gaining any positions at the moment, apart from Mikey actually. So Liverpool fan still on course to finish 1 position higher than on the road. There we go, look, Melios on the inside of Rome's Republic, and that's him through into 5th. And Statistic King able to use the rear wing to stay in touch with Bowie here. And Wild Dog's time penalty will drop him only 2 positions. And Liverpool fan now with a penalty for track limits. So that's his hopes of finishing up the order all but over. Melios now with a time penalty for track limits as well in the Red Bull. And Wild Dog has also picked up another 3 seconds for track limits. So Liverpool fan continuing on his way to a 7th place finish, but he's got Scenario closing him down on it. He's got the same penalty as Liverpool Fun. So if Scenario can get past him here, that'd be good enough to move him up to 7th position. He's out of VRS though, and so is Liverpool Fun. So this could come down to raw speed between these two drivers. Warrior on the inside there of Carlos Killer at Ravatson. He's able to get through. And because he was behind him at the detection point, he's able to use the DRS to his advantage, and he pulls away from him. And there's Winfield in 15th, on course for a championship point as it stands. And Pimis behind Becco now as well. Now, Becco may choose to just let him by easily here because he knows that Pimis' time penalty is 7 seconds more than the Alpine. Only 2 drivers lapped in this race. Dan Murphy in 16th, the last driver on the lead lap. What a drive it's been from Dixon today. It's been absolutely brilliant from him from start to finish. He just looks so comfortable out there. And now Mikey's on the back of Will here. Although the penalty would drop Mikey back, but Will's he's not had a good last stint, and those on the soft compound tyres have closed right up on him. So Will's place on the podium could well be under threat. But the good news for him is that Mikey, the penalties for both for Mikey, Melios and Romans Republic are worth more than him. So even if he was to let them by, he should still finish in 3rd place once the penalties have been applied. Well, Mikey's in DRS range now to have a go on the Ferrari. Round the outside goes Mikey for a moment there, but he slots back in again. As he knows he just did not have the... Oh, and Will spun! He spun off! Oh, he caught the curb and Will's place on the podium is gone. Liverpool Fan will surely go past him. In fact, he's just been overtaken by Scenario. So Will, with that error there, which he didn't need at all, with only 3 laps to go, has cost him his place on the podium. So Scenario and Liverpool Fan in 7th and 8th, and Scenario is now ahead of Liverpool Fan. And he could end up closing in on William Gaiman at this rate, with the way he's pushing. Warrior picking up another penalty for track limits. Dixon has started his penultimate lap. Dan Murphy's got in front of Winfield for 15th place and the final championship points. This is an interesting battle. Liverpool Fan with DRS behind Scenario here. Scenario going to the right, Liverpool Fan going to the left here. On the inside, and Liverpool Fan is back through again. So there's Bowie in 10th position. Miss and Becco in 17th and 18th, the last of the runners. No points, it'll be as it stands, but at least they'll finish no matter what happens. They'll be classified as finishes. Well, Dixon has started the final lap, and it looks like someone has gone off. Is that Mikey who's gone off? Couldn't quite tell from that angle, but looks like Mikey may have made a mistake somewhere. It may have been Big Balls Barrels, actually. I think it was Big Balls Barrels that made a mistake. So he's lost himself time through all that. But at least he'll still be able to keep hold of second position from here on in. So Dixon on his last lap. That's Winfield in front of him, in case you are wondering, who is a lap behind. And Scenario back ahead of Liverpool Fun in the fight for 7th place. Pimm's getting another time penalty for track limits. So Dixon rounds in the last corner then. And he's going to cross the line first. Dixon wins the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix at Imola in the Formula Racing League in Tier 1. It's the perfect start to the season for him. Pole position, fastest lap, and race victory. Big Boss Bells, despite falling nearly 20 seconds behind Dixon, is able to come home in 2nd place. Mikey will drop back, so Milios will go to the podium ahead of Roman's Republic. And I don't think William's going to be able to get past Mikey here. I think he's too far back to regain that 5th place. He misses out by 1.4 seconds, so Mikey's 5th. Will is in 6th. Scenario will hold on ahead of Liverpool Fun for 7th. And then Wild Dog will cross the line 9th, but he'll drop back with his penalty, so Bowie will go to 9th. Statistic King will go to 10th. Wild Dog will be in 11th place. And then this is Terades, who at the moment is 12th on the road, but I think he could well drop back behind Carlos Killer. No, he doesn't. Terades 12th, Carlos Killer 13th. The Warrior will be 14th. Dan Murphy will be 14th, Warrior 15th, Winfield 16th. But it's Dixon who wins here at Imola. I was going to say Becker was 17th ahead of Pimis, who was the 18th and final finisher. Only 2 drivers did not finish today. They were Warrior Huntsman and Jack. So your final race result then is that Dixon has won and has taken the points for fast lap and pole position. Big Boss Bells was 2nd, followed by Mielios and Rome's Republic. Mikey was 5th ahead of Will, ahead of Scenario and Liverpool Fan in 7th and 8th. Jack Berry was 9th, a fine effort from him, and Statistic King in 10th. Wild Dog was 11th ahead of Terades and Carlos Killer. Dan Murphy picking up a couple of points despite having to pit in earlier on. He came home in 14th. The Warrior recovering to a point in 15th. Winfield was 16th and the last of those on the lead lap. Becco was 17th, Pimis the last to finish is in 18th. Warrior Huntsman and Jack were the only drivers to not finish. So, Dixon after that is 16 points clear, I believe. No, that's wrong. He is 10 points clear over 2nd place Big Boss Bells, as it is the first race of the new season. Well, thank you for joining us. Do make sure you give us a like and subscribe to the channel. And we'll look to do it all over again next week at Silverstone, I believe. Same time in 7 days' time. Tuesday next week. I'm Tom Cairnes, and I'll speak to you again soon when the Formula Racing League returns.